Anyway, Michael Legge, thank you for coming for a coffee with, and you're battling through your dislike of coffee.
Well, I'm not battling through it. I haven't touched my coffee yet. I'm going to, though.
But is it going to make the interview less relaxed because you're going to be distracted by the...
Look, it's called a coffee with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to destroy your ethic. I'm going to stick to it, and that'll help you relax. But I mean, I think it'll be much more interesting for the viewer to see me in pain and suffering. That's what my audience like. That's what they like.
Well, it's an experimental thing.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can't tell you how much I hate coffee. It's the most vile taste. I will just catch on. I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. So it's one of those drinks where you get used to it. But surely nobody, the very first time they taste it, I must get used to that.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, I think it's people drink coffee because they have to drink coffee for the sheer energy of it.
But maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just like, of course your working day is going to be better after a coffee because you're not drinking coffee anymore. Anything's going to be better now that the coffee bit's finally over.
So what do you have for your caffeine boost?
I have a Diet Cola drink, which I understand is full of unethical qualities. At least with coffee, you can get really ethical coffee. Look at it's fair trade. There's no fair trade Coke.
No, there isn't.
No, in fact, there might be fair trade Coke of the cocaine variety now. I bet there must be. I bet drug dealers have sort of an ethic somewhere along the line that Coca-Cola would not have.
I'm sure it's happened somewhere along the line. Yeah. See, I just feel like I'm putting you through pain now.
It's you offered a drink. I was the one who went, I'm standing by coughing. Oh, it really is horrible, though. Do you know, it's like constantly licking a battery.
We'll battle through. It's fine.
I'm battling through it. I'm fine.
So, Cardiff, now you were at the Glee last night.
Yeah.
Did it go okay?
It was good. It was very quiet.
Really?
Very quiet. It won't be quiet on tonight and tomorrow night.
I suppose that's the interesting thing because it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, isn't it, for Glee?
Yes.
So you kind of get...
Yeah, and also it's just unfortunately the times that we're living in. Club comedy has dropped. The audiences have definitely dropped. People now, instead of maybe once every 6 weeks, once every 2 months, hey, let's go to a comedy club. They save up and go out once every 8 months to the big arena shows where they're guaranteed to have a good time. It will be a guarantee. They know they have a good time because they've heard all those jokes before and they like those jokes.
It's comforting.
It is. It's
It's cushy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, God, who would gamble on paying like a fifth of that amount of money to go to a club where you might have to, actually endure 3 or 4 acts that would be completely different and tell you jokes you've never heard before.
Have to work a bit, maybe do something a bit experimental.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants that, and you might actually get. Well, I mean, booze isn't particularly cheap, I guess, anywhere. But I mean, if you go to the big arena shows, 8 pence a pint. No, you can get it here for 4, maybe, which is a rip off anyway. Let's not get me started on booze prices. But yeah, no, that's what people want. So I guess audiences have they've dropped off.
No, but I think you're the first person to have said that, actually.
I'm the future. I'm doom. I caused it. I caused the audience.
So, I mean, how recently? Is it really quite recently?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was great because we basically avoided the financial downturn of the planet because everyone was, hey, you know what? People always want to laugh. Well, you know what? People are sick of laughing. People don't see the joke anymore. And there's no laughter anymore. And I think we avoided it for a good few years, really. But now it's our turn.
Well, I think that particularly the recession really just seems to something Mick Ferry was saying that it's everyone's skin at the moment.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it's I definitely don't want to go into this too much. Firstly, it's really boring, and secondly, it just sounds like me whinging. But basically, I mean, you go to gigs, the audience is maybe like half full, whereas it used to be, packed. And instead of the good old days about, hey, you get paid on the night, you get paid in a few weeks, which turns into months, which, everyone's broke. It's, I guess, clubs are just about getting by. There's brilliant. I mean, the Glee's obviously going to be fine. I don't think anyone needs to worry about the Comedy Store. Whereas, Jongleurs and Highlight, I mean, they're basically bobbing. But you've got other clubs like the Stand. The Stand, I think, are going to be fine. They've opened now in Newcastle, and it's...
The Stand will always thrive because it's sheer comedy fans. People are always going to go there.
Yeah. And they just made their clubs nice.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible idea, and hopefully it won't catch on. But
it's always a pleasure.
Clubs.
Yeah. The Stand is, especially in Edinburgh, you just think you're in for a good night because it's a lovely room and they care about comedy and it just shines through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just recently did their Newcastle, and I hadn't done it before, but it was kind of like the best week of gigs I've ever had. Really, I mean, really. And I say that. I even died on one of the nights, and it was still one of the best.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure to die in front of you people. No, but the other nights were just so good. And luckily, the first night was the night I died, so good, get that out of the way. And then the other nights were just amazing.
Yeah, I know people are saying about the Newcastle, but I mean, I'd love to go. It's just...
Well, do you know what? As soon as you see it, you go, oh, it's the Stand. It looks like the Stand. It's the Stand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And because, you quite often, when you're in Edinburgh, do you work with the Stand quite a bit?
Well, I did last year with a show that I did with Robin Ince.
Oh, The Angry Show.
The Angry Show.
Yeah.
So we used the Stand then, and the Stand used us. Someone used someone.
There was some.
I felt used. and this year now I'm doing a solo show at the Stand.
Oh, at the Stand.
For the Fringe.
Which
Stand
room?
2.
Stand 2. Okay,
yes.
Which is nice.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I'll be honest with you. I got the room I wanted at the time I wanted, so I couldn't really believe my luck.
What is your time of...
Time slot is 3:30 in the afternoon, which is good. That means I've been awake for a couple of hours, and work's over at 4:30. I can probably enjoy my holiday.
So it works for you doing it in the afternoon.
Well, I don't know, because I've never done a full run of a solo show.
Okay.
No one's wanted me to. There's been a lot of petitions, and I've been one of the ones who signed that petition. By the way, hi Dave. Yeah, Dave Fulton has joined us.
Dave Fulton.
Yeah, from comedy.
You can come and say hello.
Dave was actually one of the points of mine and Robin's show. Isn't this the second time you've interrupted me? Dave was one of the highlights. Well, firstly, one of the highlights of last year's Edinburgh, full stop, but also one of the highlights of mine and Robin's show.
Come and say hi to a camera so they can see you. If you get close to me, you'll have a...
And thank goodness, because now I'm not the oldest one in this show.
It's Dave Fulton.
Thank goodness Dave's here.
What are you doing, man?
I'm trying to drink coffee.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. But you just can't do it unless you have...
Hey, hang on.
A Welsh cake next
Oh,
to you.
thanks.
Do you like a Welsh cake as well, my
That
friend?
is so nice.
Do you like a Welsh cake, sound boy? There you go.
Yeah. This is staying in. This is staying in, and I'm telling you, if anything is getting removed, it's the stuff before this happened, because that was going nowhere until we got some Welsh cakes.
If anybody here is, I get a hold and they go, "Did you really pass out Welsh cakes?" And I'm like, "No." What are you kidding?
Yeah, prove it.
Wow, what a pleasant surprise.
Well, this is great. I mean, now I've got a drink that I despise, and because I'm vegan, a cake I can't eat.
Can you not eat that?
Well, I assume I can't, because it looks good. So
you're a vegan?
I'm a vegan, yeah.
How come?
Because I think little bunnies are very cute.
Is that why?
Oh, yeah. You see, this is the twist to the me getting angry about absolutely everything and finding...
I'd never have you as a
hating all of mankind, but actually, no, see, little bunnies, I'll defend them with my life. Well, maybe not my life, but someone else's life. I definitely defend them with that.
There's no bunnies in that, though.
Well, I know, but there might be milk.
Milk, not good.
Or milk. There's probably milk in it. Buttermilk.
Probably.
That's 2 dairies.
But then, isn't that all right?
No, not if you're vegan.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but I mean, if you're concerned about the bunnies, you're not harming the bunnies through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I say bunnies, I mean all animals, except people. Not like I say, not mankind. But no, I'm not mankind on factory farming. I don't know where the milk's come from, so I'm not gambling on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you see, do you remember the stuff I said about Coke? Oh yeah, I will drink as much Coke because you know what? They only kill people. I have no problem with. Oh, but you should see some of the factories they use in South America. You know, a lot of people get killed, especially if if they're in the unions. I don't care as long as you know what, as long as they're not shoved in a shed for their entire lives, and then once they're too old, they get shot dead. And I don't care. I've got ethics, and they're horrible.
But it's good that you stick by them.
Yes,
That's great. So your Edinburgh. So this Edinburgh show in the stand.
Yes.
In the afternoon.
Yes.
Stand 2.
It is. Yes, we were talking about. Do I prefer that? Mm-hmm. Now, I guess I do, but I don't know because I have never done a solo show in the afternoon. But so maybe stand up might be a little bit trickier to get away with. But you know what, Tony Law, I almost said Tony Blair. Tony Blair's not going up this year, which is a shame. Shame, it's totally what's missing from the Fringe.
Career move for him.
Yeah, Tony Law. That warmongering Tony Law. His show's noon, so I mean, if he can do that surreal madness at noon, I can certainly shout at 3:30 in the afternoon.
And that's the thing with Edinburgh, is just they want to be watching comedy all the time, so I don't think it matters.
Afternoon seems to be sketch, and and last year, I did the show with Robin, and that was fine because it wasn't really stand up, and it wasn't sketch, and it wasn't even a double act. I don't know what it was. It's two old men falling to bits. Yeah, I mean that's what it was. And we never ever made any. We never denied that. That was in the flyer, so that's what it is. So it was weird when we got reviewed. Sometimes we get bad reviews, where people going, "Oh, I didn't get it. It was just two old men shouting." That's what we said. What was confusing about that? Anyway, and I did the year before that. I did like King of Everything, which is a sketch show with Johnny Cannon. So that was a sketch show. So this is the first time I'm going to be doing it solo. So it'll be my fault this time. It was always Robin's or Johnny's, and now it's mine.
You've got no one else to blame it on.
I'll find someone. I'll find someone, don't you worry. Yeah.
But that solo stand-up thing, is that your favourite thing? I don't know.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't like it.
No?
I don't like it at all.
Why don't you do it?
No one will work with me. Well, do you know what it is? It's much more to do with like whenever Johnny and I did King of Everything. I mean, I loved it. I think the Philly show, my God, it was flawed, but it was brilliant, and it was. And of course now I look back on that year, it's sort of all dreamy, rose-tinted glass and all that. But I wanted to fucking kill him. I wanted to throttle him at all times. But I would love to do King of Everything again now. And I'd love to work with Johnny because I didn't realise, at the time it was brilliant just having Johnny around. And of course, we bounced ideas off one another. We never did anything with the ideas, but we bounced them, and it was good fun. And then of course with Robin, it was it's pretty much the same thing. Although I don't think I wanted to kill Robin. I think I wanted to mother him, which is slightly worse, I think, you'll find. And now it's on my own. Now, not mine keen. And I do a sketch show, or did a sketch show called Los Cuatros Cunts. I don't know if you're allowed to say Los Cuatros on this, but I miss those guys, and they're actually going to be up in Edinburgh, and they're going to be doing a show that'll be really successful, and I'll be on my own. Dying.
Yeah. You do have enough of an audience now, though.
I've got a small group of people. I know them all. I know them all. I don't like to call them fans, mainly because they make it clear to me they're not my fans. No, I know we've got a small band of people, and and I'm incredibly grateful to the solo shows that I've done. I mean, last year was great. I did like an 8-night run of a solo show last year in Edinburgh, and I thought it's going to be a disaster, but I'm sure to some people it was, but not to me. It was a rip-roaring success. It was great, and it was selling out. So the last few that I did, was selling out, and I thought, well, maybe time's right then. Maybe next year I'll come up and do the month. So this is it. This is the year that I proved myself wrong.
So is this the first year you've done a solo show?
Oh, done a full month solo show. Okay. And I'm writing it from scratch, and I'm going to start writing it soon, very soon.
So it's not written yet at all?
Well, I did my first preview on Monday night, and I can honestly say it's not written. So,
but there's ideas there?
Oh, there's ideas. Oh, my goodness.
But it's all ideas.
Well, I will explain that to the audience every night in Edinburgh. Well, there's ideas. And the great thing is, it will be a very brief show, so you've got your day free if you come and see me.
It's a perk that it
is
runs short.
Yeah, it's not very good, but it is short. So
and fairly cheap. That's a good thing about the stand.
Oh, the stand's like £8.
Yeah.
£8 to see a show. Plus, you don't actually have to sit through a show. Brilliant. You pay £8, and then you can see for my 5 minutes and then go.
But
Brilliant.
the thing on ticket prices is, the annoying thing is you look at the stand and what they do, and then you see all the other venues and you realise what a rip-off they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, Dave Fulton and I were discussing this last night. Where he saw some people were queuing up to get tickets to see Andy. What's it going to do? Like Andy Parsons. That's
Andy
him.
Parsons. Oh yeah,
that guy. I'm very good at impressions.
Did I not know?
I'm very good at impressions. So good to see Andy Parsons, and some people wanted tickets. And Dave, I think, just happened to be standing in the doorway. Dave gets in the way a lot, as you've noticed. And these people just asked him, said, like, do you know if there's tickets available? He goes, well, I think so. There's box offices there. And went, oh, yeah. 2 tickets for Andy Parsons. And they said, yeah, that's £18 each. And Dave went, what? But, of course, it's Andy Parsons. Andy Parsons is famous, so people will spend that. But the thing is, this is what I can... It's still only £4 more than actually most shows at the Pleasance. Well, it's £14 for people you've never heard of. And you're like... I'm not gambling £14. I'm just not doing it. I'm not. And there were some people who I knew. I went, brilliant. I'm glad you're doing well. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't pay it. But,
yeah. No,
just realised how rude that was. But hey, it's true.
But particularly at the weekends, and everyone just racks the prices up because everybody's out.
Exactly. It goes way up again.
Yeah.
Now I'm glad that I'm somewhere really unsuccessful. That we can't possibly charge any more. It's good.
It's a good deal. And
I think so. The standard brilliant.
For hopefully, and also open to something a bit more experimental. Like it's kind of, because you're doing your first solo show. It's kind of maybe a bit of a risk.
Oh, it's completely a risk. Completely. I mean, it is. Last year was good. I was happy with the show. People seem to like the show, but I don't know if I've got 2 shows in me. I mean, I wrote that one from scratch. I didn't use any of my stand-up, and I did that for the reason that if I'm going up to Edinburgh for a month, the last thing I want to hear is that shit I've been trawling through clubs that I can do in my sleep. Christ, I don't want to hear that. I'll be doing that tonight at the Glee and tomorrow night. But no, I'm not going to do that in Edinburgh. I want to, that's...
want to do something fresh and something new.
Absolutely, and of course it's better for it. And I don't really know why I can't do that in clubs. I just haven't worked out how to do it.
So you do, when you're doing the Glee, you will do your set.
If you like my club set, I mean, I'll have changes to it here and there, but it's definitely, I've definitely got like 12 minutes that is definitely going to be in there, and 8 minutes that.
And how sort of have you had that for several years, or is that
certainly I would say for the last 3-4 years it's been pretty rigid, with the odd bit, of course, coming and going, blah blah blah. Yeah. But my thing was, when I started, like, I didn't, I didn't have any material, and I didn't want any material. I thought I was funnier without any material. and the thing is, it's true, I'm funnier without any jokes. And I wish I could get back to that. I wish I had the balls to get back to that. But then again, I mean, that show I did last year, Curse of Walter Raleigh, and this show, which is called What a Shame. I mean, there's enough of that is clearly, like, I've got the bare bones of material because it's stories that have really happened to me. So therefore, they're gonna change every night, and they did change every night in Edinburgh last year, and they'll change every night. They have to, or else I'm dead.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're doing your club set though, because it is the same, is that just mind-numbing?
I mean, do you know what? It goes in waves. Where sometimes, I will hate it. Sometimes I hate. I mean, I was once told by a comedian, said, the worst thing that can possibly happen to you is you get a bit bored on stage and you lose your train of thought. Like, you're going through this bit of material, and then you realise you haven't really been listening to yourself, and then you lose your place. That's not the worst thing that can happen. Now, I know what the worst thing is. The worst thing is you've lost your train of thought. You're doing a bit of material you know really well, and then you realise you haven't been listening, and you still haven't lost your place. That's when you realise how boring it is. Like, yeah, I know where I am. If you can't get lost sometimes on stage, then you're not doing it right. You need to get lost. Yeah. But
so it's not like that all the time. You
no, of course not. I mean, my God, I can complain about this job, really. I mean, I do, but I mean, you can't really complain. But something new will always happen. You know, and like I say, at least, you know, there's loads of comedians who've got the same 20 minutes, and they've had the same 20 minutes since I've known them, and I've been doing stand-up for like 12 years. And, you know, they've been doing their 20 minutes since then. At least I still have that 8 minutes. There's 8 minutes. If I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, that, you know, that I cling on to. Yeah, and the audience cling on to it as well. Because 8 minutes of him not doing his material.
But you were saying that you missed doing kind of is sketch the thing that you really love?
Yes.
Or okay.
No, I really like sketch. Well, do you know what it is? I like doing sketch comedy. You know, in particular with God say that the Trap. Do you know the Trap?
The Trap.
Trap, or it's well, they're the best sketch group ever. They're brilliant, you know. And I'm lucky enough to work with them with Los Cuatros Cons, and I'm really sort of like, you know, I really miss working with them because their ideas are just so stupid. I mean, you know, I mean that in the best possible way. Whereas, you know, with stand-up, you kind of have to sort of go, all right, well, this has to make sense because people have to follow the story. Whereas with sketch, of course, it doesn't have to make sense. In fact, if it makes sense...
What's the point of doing it?
Yeah, exactly, what's the point? And which was great about doing King of Everything with Johnny Candid. I mean, that was such a... It was a sketch with a plot. And it was a brilliant plot. I mean, it was brilliant. The plot was... Johnny kept killing people backstage. Every time he went off stage, he accidentally killed another person. So we had to get through the show as quickly as possible before the police came. So it was really pathetic, but we really loved that. And you can't get that with stand-up. You can't have. Do you know what? A stand-up can't have a backstory. You can't have that. You can't go, no, this is it. It's happening
on stage.
It's happening right now. Whereas you know, if you're in a double act or you're doing a sketch, everything's going on back there while you're here. That, you know, it's a shame. So I think what I'm saying is that I miss working with those people, and I'm, you know, it's lonely being on stage when you're me.
And I suppose having more to play with as well. In that, it's quite one-dimensional having one person on stage. Right. Although some people do it so well, you know. But
you know, Also, I don't know. I'm fine with not stealing focus in a room. So that's the weird thing about being a stand-up. Don't let me steal focus. You guys talk amongst yourselves, absolutely fine. So there's a lot of pressure. Whereas, you know, it's like you said, at least with sketch. Well, the great thing is working with the Trap and then working with Johnny. You know, you corpse on stage, you laugh at everything. You can't take anything seriously. In fact, you know, I've seen plenty of like. Sketch groups that are slick and, you know, they take it very seriously. I'm, you know, I'm bored stupid because there's no sense of fun. And I don't know, maybe now that I think about it, maybe that's what the stand-up sort of thing brings to it, because at least in stand-up you can be a bit more spontaneous in that sense because you're not putting anyone else off. Whereas luckily the Trap and Johnny is a stand-up, the Trap are stupid enough to follow any of those routes. So I guess it's just mucking around. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
After all that, what I'm saying is I like to muck around. There you go.
Yeah, the structure of it is sort of...
Yeah, think I'd be drinking coffee if I didn't like mucking around? Love mucking around.
But a lot of your stuff is quite angry.
Yeah, that's my shtick.
I mean, that's your shtick, but do you worry that becomes a sort of... limiting?
No, maybe. No. Well, I mean, how can it? Everything's awful.
But I mean, you're. But when you were doing your sketching.
My sketching.
When you did your sketch shows, was it from an angry point of view as well?
No, never really. I mean, well, the very first sketch that Johnny and I wrote was definitely from an angry point of view, and it was. Do you know what? We were on our way to Robin Ince's book club. We decided that we wanted to do something together. We had found out we knew for weeks that we were going to do it, and on the day we still hadn't written anything, and we're actually on our way to the gig. Now we stopped into O'Brien's sandwich shop, which is next door to the venue. So we have 20 minutes to come up with a sketch. I mean, we just thought we'll just go on stage and wing something. But then we went into O'Brien's sandwich shop, and they were just so awful. Like, we came out rigid with anger. They were just so bad at every level. And then this sketch just happened. It was about... I was the boss, and he was like the new employee at the O'Brien's sandwich shop training centre. And basically, I trained him how to be appalling on every level. And it was, that was out of sheer, utter frustration. And unfortunately, that's where my anger is. You can see, proper angry comedian. You're that Bill Hicks. All that.
Yeah.
Dave, in fact, Dave Fulton's a great example. He's angry about the world. He's angry about politics. He's angry about. I'm not. Do you know what? Politics doesn't affect me. It's just I ignore it. It ignores me. So it's a mutual thing.
It just happens, but it's nothing. That relates to you.
Oh God, can you believe what's happening with the tax thing in the gym? I don't care. I don't. Do you know what? Oh my God, Jimmy Carr's not paying enough tax. That money could have gone to the government and they would have paid, they would have given it to schools and they would have given it to the hospital. Well, they don't do that anyway. So what makes you think they would have done it with Jimmy's money? I just don't care. I just don't give a shit. So I'm afraid I'm too selfish, whereas trying to buy a sandwich and that not being a smooth transaction will fucking just do my head in.
The red mist will just, yeah.
I've got to tell you this, honestly, this happened to me just the other day, and I'm so glad it happened to me, because I don't think I've ever been angrier in my life. I wanted to get to Manchester to do this gig, this first preview gig, and every single part of the journey was wrong. I was sold the wrong ticket for the train, and you know what they're like on trains, but you have to have the right ticket. You can't have a ticket to AHA, in 1985. That will not do anymore. And then basically the guy who sold me the wrong ticket then told me the wrong train station to go to get my train, and I knew it was wrong. I even argued with him. He said, no, it's definitely there. So I'm at the wrong place with the wrong ticket, and then because he told me the wrong place, I then ran to the right place. It ran from King's Cross to Euston, just in time to see my train move away. But that's all right. There's 1 in 15 minutes to get on that. But of course, I've got the wrong ticket, and they tell me to get off the train from Euston, and then I have to argue with all these people. Argue. I end up spending £250 on a ticket to Manchester. So basically, I'm paying over 150 quid to do a gig. So I mean, because by the time I get paid, it's only going to pay for a bit of that. So I'm livid. I'm absolutely livid, and I'm just walking through Euston train station, like going seething with anger. And that's when I see Jamelia fall off a chair. And the thing is, I actually think that was sent. That was sent to calm me down. And it was just one of those moments where I could convince Robin Ince that there is a God, because I mean that was surely comforting my torment. I know it was.
How can that not give you some joy? Yeah.
Brilliant! It's amazing. It was amazing. It really It definitely helped the moment. It's like, yeah, it's not so bad. Jamelia's hurt herself. I didn't want Jamelia to hurt herself. I like Jamelia, but But I needed to see a celebrity follower.
But that wouldn't have been funny if you had a brilliant day.
No.
You'd be like, oh, poor Jamelia.
I would have gone, oh, you're all right. And I wouldn't have gone, ha! Like I did.
Exactly. I think there's some sort of justice there.
Yeah. Maybe she saw me having a bad time. And that's good. She's a really good Christian charitable woman. She'd probably say, there's a guy having a really bad time. When he walks past, I fall my arse. Thanks, Jam.
It was a favour to you, yeah. But so you find yourself walking around angry most of the time, or
yeah. Constantly threatening people. I try not to. Exactly, it does just happen. And also, do you know what? I'm sort of getting better at walking around and seeing something awful and finding it completely normal. Now, but I wouldn't say that makes me any less angry. I just sort of go, yeah, why not? That's fine. I was walking through the park fairly recently with my dog, and a guy stopped me to ask for directions to a hospital. The hospital is near the park, and I went, yeah, it's no problem at all, mate. And he was very polite about it. He was all, excuse me, and that was very nice. I went, well, look, you go down this path. And once you go take the curve near these tennis courts in the park, you cross a bridge just off to your left, and that's your entrance into the hospital. And he said, thanks very much. It was all pleasant. The only thing is, he was pissing on railings the entire time while he was asking me that. And I was like, he's just excuse me, while having a slash. Like it's noon. It's during the day, I'm having a slash on some railings. But excuse me where the hospital is.
But that's kind of fine, because he was polite about it.
Yeah, at least he was polite. Personally, I'm not into the whole urinating outdoors.
You wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. I would do one or the other. I would either have a wee outside or ask directions. I would never do them both at the same time.
Well, I was chatting with Robin, and he was saying sometimes he has to, when he does the shows with you, he has to cultivate the anger because he's not angry enough.
Oh, no. Do you know what? Unfortunately, we really got that badly last year in Edinburgh because we were having a lovely time. We were staying in a beautiful house. We were having a really nice time, and it was brilliant fun hanging out with Robin. I'm sure he hated hanging out with me, but I had a lovely time hanging out with him. So it was really hard to get the anger going, and our venue was really nice. So
it was a posh little room you were in.
Posh, lovely little room. So it was really hard to get the audience angry. You know, the year before, at least, we were in this basically this concrete block covered in shit. You know, and it was our spiritual home, that concrete block covered in shit. It was brilliant.
It was the show's home almost.
It was completely his home, so it was hard to go into a place that was so much nicer. But we had to pretend to be angry, and then we did our show in Glasgow recently, and it was the first time we'd done sort of like a 2-hour version of it. That was really hard to be angry because. Again, the venue was lovely, and we just had such
lots of people had come, and
and we had a lovely time. The first half hour was niggling at best. I mean, we got into our stride in the second half, but we were like, whoa, bit of a draft. I mean, that's not. Come on.
You can't call that anger.
No.
On any level.
No.
But is it important for the audience to be angry as well, or can it just be?
Yeah.
It can't just be. Two people observing two angry people.
No, because you need to know that your audience relates to just being angry for, let's face it, no good reason. I mean, it's not worth it, and yet it's sort of what drives me and Robin completely. Just it's constant having to live with stupidity and an annoyance. I mean, you have to know that your audience sort of somewhat feel that. Which is why we really love it. Like whenever we ask the audience, like, what are you angry about? And like people put their hand up, and go, oh, the council, blah blah, or the government, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, someone will put their hand up and go, well, thin curtains. And you go, yeah, thin curtains are really annoying, and that's what we'll agree with that. Whereas with the government and the council, that sort of slows us down. I suppose so. Do you know what it is? I think we don't get angry about those things anymore because there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing.
It's true.
But we can replace curtains. We can.
You can put up some thicker ones.
Yes, so. Yeah.
Oh, but were there any suggestions that you were just appalled at that you did?
Oh yeah, no. There's always like a few. We've had like we had one where it was benefit sheets, and I always what benefit sheets? Oh. People who are disabled that that sort of pull one over and sort of play on their disability to get government. Oh Jesus! yeah. Those benefit sheets, they're crawling all the way to the bank. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't really. I don't know how to agree with you with this. It's just. It's not something that upsets me, seeing people who've got any disability maybe getting a few extra quid. I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Can't really fathom that much anger.
No, I can't really. No. I mean, the stuff like that was great, but then, on the other side, which is brilliant, we did an angry show for kids, and that was utterly fantastic. I mean, I thought it was going to be a disaster, but it was brilliant. Asking kids what are they angry about was phenomenal.
What Angus?
Well, because we're
how old were they?
Like between 4 and 8. I think
right.
So they're proper little kids, and not we're so used to people putting their hands up and going the council, and it was brilliant saying to kids, "What are you angry about?" And this little girl puts her hand and goes, "I don't think it's very fair that when I grow up, I'm not allowed to be a leaf." You are right. That is a great example of the system shitting on us once again. So
that's a genuine.
Oh yeah, that was genuine. Someone else thought it was unfair that animals aren't allowed to be politicians. It was way better.
That's the direction of the angry show.
Yeah, maybe. It could be. I mean, as I say, but we could pitch that to a TV company, and they go, "Oh, that's brilliant. We'd hear what really upsets kids. Do you know what was a really good one? Actually, it was a genuinely good one. A little kid said, I don't really like that I'm always told what to wear. And you went, see, they are genuinely angry about stuff. They are genuinely angry. It's brilliant. And you know, you could easily pitch that to a TV company. Me and Robin would get pitched that, and a TV company go, oh my god, that actually sounds like an interesting idea. We can't wait to take that idea and replace you with two much younger presenters. Yeah.
You just know it will happen.
Oh, of course it will. Of course it will.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure.
I feel bad about eating some of my Welsh cake. In fact,
I want you to eat both Welsh cakes now. I'm not going to down this one. Look, this is. I got a third of the way through this cup.
Well, I mean, still, as much as you hate it, then that's still a good.
Thanks for having me.
That's a good thing.